Walk into any kitchen showroom in Britain and you will be sold a cooker on three things: how it looks, what it costs, and how many clever functions it has. You will not be told the one thing that actually matters, which is how long it will last before it dies and takes a chunk of your kitchen budget with it. Because here is the quiet truth the showroom will never say out loud. Some of the most fashionable, most expensive cookers in this country are no more reliable than the cheap ones. One of the names you trust most is now a budget brand wearing an old reputation, and there is a British-built cooker, made in the same town it has been made in since 1830, that will very likely outlive the kitchen you fit it into. By the end of this video you will know the 5 cooker and oven brands that savvy British buyers quietly walk past, the 3 genuinely built to last, and the single number printed on every box that tells you, before you spend a penny, how much faith the maker really has in their own machine. Because a cooker is not like a phone you swap every couple of years. It is bolted into your kitchen, and you live with the choice for a very long time, which is exactly why getting it right matters more than the showroom lets on. Let me give you that number first, because it is the whole game. It is the warranty. When a manufacturer offers you a 1-year warranty on a cooker, they're telling you, in the politest possible language, that they expect it to start going wrong not long after that. When a manufacturer offers 5 years as standard, they're telling you they have built something they are not afraid to stand behind. The gap between a 1-year warranty and a 5-year warranty is the gap between a machine designed to be replaced and a machine designed to last, and it costs you nothing to read it before you buy. A budget cooker might last around 7 years. A well-chosen one will do 15 to 20. Over the life of a kitchen, that is the difference between buying 1 cooker and buying 3, and the showroom is very much hoping you buy 3. Here is the first thing you need to understand, because the cooker is unlike almost any other appliance you own. You do not replace it casually. A built-in oven is wired and bolted into a fitted kitchen, so swapping it means matching the exact cavity size, paying an electrician, and often discovering the new model does not quite fit the old hole. A range cooker is a 600mm wide centerpiece you build the whole room around. This is an appliance you're stuck with for 15 years if you buy well, or one you curse every time it lets you down if you buy badly. And the British market makes it harder, because just as with washing machines, most of the familiar names are owned by a handful of giant conglomerates, sold at every price point with very different levels of quality under the badge, and increasingly stuffed with touchscreens, Wi-Fi and self-cleaning functions that add cost, add complexity, and add more things to break. On top of that, our hard water quietly attacks the steam ovens and cleaning systems the marketing pushes hardest. Our repair network outside the cities is thin and slow, and the parts for the cheaper brands can vanish within a few years of you buying. So the stakes are unusually high. Get it wrong, and you're not just out the price of the cooker, you're out the fitting, the electrician, and possibly the cabinetry when the replacement does not fit the hole the old one left. The cooker that lasts is rarely the cleverest one. It is the best built one, and telling them apart is exactly what this video is for. I want to be transparent about how this was put together, because most cooker advice online is written by retailers earning commission on whatever they are pushing this month. This is not that. It is based on 4 things: the Which, large appliance survey, the one that asked thousands of real owners, more than 9,000 people reporting on nearly 28,000 products this year, whether their cooker has gone wrong and how quickly, and that builds its reliability ratings from how often a brand fails, how soon, and how badly it disrupts your life. The warranty lengths the manufacturers themselves offer, which are a confession of confidence you can read for free on any spec sheet. The independent repairers who fix these machines after the guarantee runs out and know exactly which badges share the same parts and which ones become landfill the day a board fails, and the public record of who actually owns each brand, because the name on the door is rarely the company in charge, and the owner tells you a great deal about where the corners get cut. No manufacturer paid for a word of this, and at least one of the names on the avoid list sells some very pretty cookers indeed. Before the list, you need to understand what actually kills a cooker, because it is almost never the bit you would expect. It is rarely the metal box or the burners, it is the electronics. Modern ovens increasingly run on a proprietary control board, a circuit board specific to that model, and when it fails, and the cheap ones do fail, the part can cost more than the oven is worth, if it is even still made. This is planned obsolescence in its quietest form, a £30 component you cannot replace economically, sitting behind a perfectly good metal box, deciding the day the whole appliance dies. Every touchscreen, every Wi-Fi module, every fancy self-cleaning program is another thing that can go wrong, and independent testing consistently shows that the more features a cooker has, the more likely it is to need a repair. Simplicity lasts. Complexity breaks. The second killer is parts and service. A cooker is only as repairable as the spares you can get for it, and the budget brands and the unbranded imports are precisely the ones where the parts dry up after a few years and the service number rings out into nothing. A cooker from a brand with a proper spares network can be kept alive for 2 decades by any competent engineer. A cooker from a brand without one is disposable the day a single part fails. Hold those two ideas, simple beats clever, and parts keep a cooker alive, because they explain every name on both lists. Here are the 5 that smart Brits quietly avoid. Number 5, the unbranded internet specials, the cookers and ovens from names like Cookology, Montpellier, SIA, and a rotating cast of others that appear at the cheap end of online listings, with tempting prices and glowing average reviews. The problem is not just the build quality, though that is often poor. It is that there is no real support network behind them. The spare parts can be impossible to find a few years in, and the warranty is usually the bare legal minimum of 1 year, which tells you everything. When one of these dies, and they die young, there is frequently nobody to call and nothing to fix it with, so it goes to the tip and you start again. To be fair, for a rental flat or a rarely used second kitchen, a cheap unbranded oven can make sense. But as the cooker you rely on every day, it is a false economy wearing a low price tag. Number 4, Hoover and Candy. These names still carry the echo of a time when they meant something, and that echo is exactly what is being sold to you. Both are now owned by the Chinese giant Haier, both sit firmly at the budget end of the market, and both tend to come with the short warranties and the modest lifespans that go with it. There is nothing scandalous here, they are cheap cookers that do a cheap cooker's job. But people buy them on the strength of a name that has not described the actual company for many years, expecting heritage and getting a budget appliance. Smart buyers know the name is nostalgia, and they price the cooker on what it is, not on what the badge used to mean. Number 3, Indesit and Hotpoint. Here we are back in the territory of the washing machine giants, because these two are now part of Beko Europe. Controlled by the Turkish group Arçelik, sitting alongside Beko itself. They are everywhere, they are affordable, and they are the default choice for landlords and developers fitting out kitchens to a price. And that is rather the point. They are specified because they are cheap, not because they last. The warranties are short, the reliability and satisfaction scores in the owner surveys sit well below the premium brands, and Hotpoint in particular carries the lingering shadow of the appliance safety recalls that dogged the group across washing machines and tumble dryers. There is a pattern worth noticing here. When one giant owns a stable of budget badges, a corner cut in one design office turns up across several brands at once, which is exactly why these names cluster at the same end of every reliability table. For a few years of light use in a rental or a holiday let, fine. As a cooker to build a kitchen around and keep for 15 years, the smart money goes elsewhere, and the people fitting these into new build kitchens are choosing them for the developer's budget, not for your decade. Number 2, Beko and Zanussi, and this one comes with a genuine word of praise, because I am not here to tell you these are bad cookers. They are not. Beko in particular offers real value. It heats up, it cooks evenly enough, and for a tight budget it is a perfectly honest choice, as plenty of happy owners will tell you. Zanussi, owned by Electrolux, sits in the same value bracket. The reason they are on the avoid list is narrow and specific. They are not built to last. The expected lifespan is around 7 years, the warranties are typically 1 to 2, and that 1-year warranty is the maker quietly telling you not to expect a second decade. If you want a cheap cooker for a few years, and you know that going in, buy one with a clear conscience. If you are buying a cooker to last, these are not it, and dressing a 7-year appliance up as a long-term investment is where buyers get caught. And number 1 on the avoid list, the one that will annoy a lot of people, Smeg. Now, Smeg makes genuinely beautiful cookers, those curvy retro fridges and range cookers in pastel colours that look magnificent in a magazine. But here is the uncomfortable thing the independent trade will tell you when the cameras are off. You are paying a premium price largely for the look. On reliability, Smeg does not meaningfully outperform mid-market brands, and a number of professionals who work on these machines for a living rate them among the less dependable in their price bracket, while quietly pointing out that much of what you are buying is the brand and the colour chart rather than the engineering. There is nothing wrong with buying a cooker because you love how it looks, if you go in with your eyes open and you treat it as a fashion choice. But buying a Smeg expecting premium durability to match the premium price is how smart Brits end up disappointed, paying flagship money for mid-table reliability, which is precisely why so many of them quietly choose the substance over the style and put the difference toward a brand that will still be cooking in 15 years. So before I give you the 3 built to last, I want to ask you something directly, and I read every reply. Tell me in the comments what cooker or oven you own, how old it is, and whether it has ever let you down, because the cookers that quietly soldier on for 15 or 20 years deserve a mention, and the ones that died in 5 deserve to be named. And tell me this, have you ever paid extra for a brand purely because of how it looked? No judgment, we have all done it. I just suspect a few of you are about to recognise yourselves, and a few more are about to feel very smug about the boring bomb-proof oven that has never once let them down. Now, the good news, the 3 brands genuinely built to last. Number 3 is the British one, and it is the one I most want you to know about, Rangemaster. This is a company that made the world's first range cooker in 1830 in Royal Leamington Spa, and remarkably still designs and builds its range cookers in that same town nearly 2 centuries later. It is Britain's #1 cooker manufacturer, part of the AGA Rangemaster Group, which also sits behind AGA, Rayburn, Mercury and Falcon, and its cookers are built to genuinely last 15 to 20 years with proper care. Crucially, they are repairable. The common wear items like oven elements, grill elements and ignition parts are cheap, treated almost as consumables, and easy to get, and a network of independent engineers will fix them, often for far less than the official service rate. The warranty is 2 years as standard, extendable on registration, and owners routinely report theirs going strong at 15 and 20 years. One honest caveat, because being informed cuts both ways. Stick to the core British-made range cookers, because some of the peripheral Rangemaster products, certain fridges and dishwashers, and the odd hob or hood are rebadged units made elsewhere and sold at a premium, so you're not always buying Leamington Spa engineering across the whole catalogue. But the cookers themselves, the thing the brand has been famous for since before Queen Victoria, are the real deal, and there is something rather satisfying about buying a British-built cooker that will outlast the lot. Number 2, the BSH family, Bosch, Siemens and Neff, all owned by the German engineering giant Bosch. This is the sweet spot where quality meets sense. These ovens are genuinely well built, they consistently rank near the top of the reliability surveys, and many models carry a 5-year warranty, that confession of confidence we talked about. Neff is the one passionate home cooks adore, thanks to its clever slide and hide disappearing door, the one that tucks away beneath the oven so you can get right up to the shelves, the staple of every television baking tent, while Bosch leads the way on fast, safe, responsive induction. AEG, owned by Electrolux, deserves an honourable mention here too, as a reliable mid-range name that cooks well for sensible money. The honest caveat is the one we met with washing machines. These 3 BSH brands share a great deal of engineering under the skin, so the premium you pay for the Neff or Siemens badge over the equivalent Bosch is often buying you the door design, the control panel and the styling, rather than a fundamentally different, more reliable machine. Buy the one whose looks and features you actually want, but know that between the 3 of them you are choosing trim, not durability, and the cheaper Bosch badge frequently gives you the same guts for less. And number 1, the cooker that simply refuses to die, Miele. This is the German family-owned company that builds appliances to a standard almost nobody else attempts, testing them for the equivalent of 20 years of use before they ever reach a shop. A Miele oven is engineered to last around 2 decades, with temperature accuracy within a degree or two that serious cooks treasure, generous usable capacity, serviceable parts, and a company that commits to supporting its smart ovens with software updates for roughly 10 years after the model stops being made, which is almost unheard of in an industry that usually abandons your appliance the moment it stops selling. The honest caveats are real and worth stating plainly. Miele is expensive to buy, the spare parts are dear when you do need them, and oddly the standard warranty is only 2 years, short for the price, so you are trusting the brand's 20-year reputation rather than a long paper guarantee. But the machines earn their keep over the long haul rather than the short, and the reputation is built on decades of ovens that simply keep working. If you cook seriously, plan to stay in your home and want to buy a cooker once and never think about it again, Miele is as close to a lifetime appliance as this market offers. You pay once, properly, and it pays you back for 20 years. Here are the rules. Write them down. Rule 1. Read the warranty before you read the price tag, because a 1-year warranty is the manufacturer admitting they expect trouble, and a 5-year warranty is them backing themselves. It is the single most honest piece of information on the box. Rule 2. Buy the features you will actually use and no more, because every touchscreen, Wi-Fi connection and self-cleaning gimmick is another thing to break and another reason for an expensive repair. Simple lasts. Rule 3. Before you buy, check the parts and service situation, because a cooker you cannot get spares for is a cooker you cannot keep, and that rules out most of the unbranded imports immediately. Rule 4. Identify the owner behind the badge, because a famous old name now owned by a budget conglomerate is priced on nostalgia, not quality. And Rule 5. If you are buying a cooker to build a kitchen around, treat it as a 15-year decision and not a 5-year one, because the cheap option you replace 3 times costs far more than the good one you buy once. Now the arithmetic, the part the showroom hopes you never do. Option 1, the cheap cooker. You spend, say, £300 on a budget or unbranded oven, and in 7 years, often less, it is dead. The control board has failed, the part is unobtainable or costs more than the oven, and you are buying another. Over 20 years, that is 3 cookers, 3 lots of fitting and an electrician each time, and a great deal of frustration in between. Call it £900 in cookers and several hundred more in fitting, for 2 decades of things breaking. Option 2, the cooker built to last. You spend more once on a Bosch, a Rangemaster or a Miele, perhaps £800 to £2,000 depending on how serious you are, and it runs for 15 to 20 years, fixable along the way with cheap available parts, by which point it has cost you less per year than the cheap one despite the bigger sticker price, and given you 2 decades of even, reliable cooking instead of a string of disappointments. And there is a hidden cost people forget entirely. Every time a built-in oven dies, you do not just buy the oven, you pay an electrician to fit it, and you risk the new model not matching the old cavity, which can mean cabinetry work and a kitchen fitter on top. The cheap cooker is the expensive cooker, again, because the price on the label was never the price you actually pay over the life of a kitchen. So here is the bottom line. The cooker market sells you looks, price and gadgets, and stays very quiet about the only thing that matters over the life of a kitchen, which is whether the thing will still be working in 15 years. The warranty tells you, the features warn you. The owner behind the badge explains the price. Read those 3 signals and you will never overpay for a pretty machine that dies young, or trust a famous name that has quietly become a budget brand. Buy simple, buy serviceable, read the warranty, and if it appeals to you, buy British and buy a Rangemaster that will outlast your kitchen. The smart Brits are not buying the cleverest cooker or the prettiest one. They are buying the one that lasts, the one still cooking Sunday dinner long after the showroom has forgotten it sold it, and now you know exactly how to spot it. If this video helped you avoid a costly mistake, subscribe so you never miss the next one, and send it to anyone about to fit a new kitchen. That is all.